But the word worship actually comes from the act of bringing yourself down in order to give reverence to something that you perceive to be above you. But it's all militaristic because worship goes with gospel. And gospel is a news of a military victory. An evangelizer is one person who goes around spreading military news. So worship, hence the word your worship in court or in power structures. Your worship means I am below you, you are above me. So to worship means you are acknowledging that you are below something that is above you. And in Africa, we never used such an understanding to communicate. We use connection. Siyophahla, ngiyophahluka, ngiyokhipha lento lakimi to the gods. We don't worship. We've never had worship. We don't even understand the system of worship.
Welcome back on the channel. I'm your host Nati. If you are new in the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go.
Years of scientific research, and not only mine, but people have researched this, and a few of my theories added in the mix of it all. I'd like to talk about the phenomena of human development. Ukukhula komuntu. How does a person develop? How does a person grow? And I'm just going to make it sweet and short. There's a 7-year development or 7-year development stages in every human's life. From birth to 7 years old, from 7 years old to 14, from 14 to 21, 21 to 28, 28 to 35, and so on. And during these periods of time, certain aspects of our psyche, our consciousness, our behavior get developed. From 0 to 7, a child, any child, ngesintu sithi ingane lento, because we are not even sure about it. Ingane. Sithi ke ingane from 0 to 7 develops family, base issues, trust, emotional issues with the family, the mother, the father, home, and all these things. And if a child, it happens from between 0 to 6 years, 7 years, especially in the 5, 6, 7-year period, if the child is abused in the home, that memory never goes away from that child, and that incident is going to shape the child's outlook to the world and how that child trusts anybody around. If the child had a pleasant experience in that period, their outlook will be very pleasant to the world. 7 to 14 is where now the child starts to learn interactive skills. They start to meet friends, they start to go out and they go to school and they start to meet other people beyond the family. Now they start to develop the concept of right and wrong. They start to develop the concept of compromise in order to fit in. It's unfortunate that most of our children during those ages are bombarded with school. They are not given a chance outside school to learn it, and it's just the way things are. So we get children during those years who grow up competitive. We get children who grow up with low self-esteem. We grow up with children with broken confidence, because in the class, kuno number 1, kuno number 2, kuno number 3, I'm never top 5. It brings me down because I don't understand that which is taught by the teacher more than the one that understands it better. I'm considered stupid or not as intelligent. That becomes a problem. From 14 years to 21 years, the child now starts to develop an independency character. This is me, an identity for themselves, shaped by the influences of the friends around them and the events that happen around them. By the time the child is 21 years old, already they've got a certain group of friends. They know a certain type of partner they'd like to be. They know what they'd love to do as a career and so forth. But if that is not properly developed, we're going to have children that take kunale noma yini culture. Noma yini boza yam. I take whatever works because I don't know what I want personally. Because somewhere in my growing up stages, I lost my chance to develop the maturity of my identity. And if a child is developed fully in terms of identity during that period, by the time they're in their 21, going to their 28th year, they know exactly their focus. When they're studying, they're studying. When they're working, they're working. Whatever they are doing, they have a focus. But those who did not develop it properly during the previous 7 years, they're still party goers. They're still looking for pleasures. They're still looking for what's the next jol? Where's my next fix? Where's my next boyfriend? Who's my next girlfriend? Until these kids go up to 28 years old. Now, by 28 years old, most of your friends, some of your friends are working. They own their own apartments or houses. They drive their own cars. Now you start to feel left behind. From 28 years to 35 years old, you are going to have a miserable life. A lot of us, we start to drink. We party. We go out with friends. We do this. And during that time, we also try to find something to do, whether it's work, whether it's business, whether it's whatever it is. But now we are in a pressure because now after 35 to 42, we are on the brink of experiencing now midlife crisis. And then if you look at statistics, you can go on the internet, Google anytime, and check divorce rate. What age does a lot of divorces happen? In women, 41, 42, 43 years old. In men, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. It's in these early 40s, the 7 years between 42 and 49. It's very, very delicate because it's your last chance to develop. Divorces happen, like I said. Divorces happen. Change of careers happen. People quit their jobs, they stop their businesses during this age because now it's the age called the midlife crisis, And then if you have not developed prior to that and you're still stuck on a development stage, if your development was arrested at a certain stage before that, you're going to carry that on to your 50s. And after 49, you'll see our mothers start joining societies. They start joining churches. Our fathers start joining churches. Abanye start becoming regulars at drinking houses. They start having this now fixed type of thing to get them out of their frustration. Because now inside they are not fulfilled. Inside they're not finding out who they have not yet developed that self-awareness. After that, you find the age of now, the realization that no, my body is not the same anymore. Now. And whatever I was looking for outside is not important anymore. Now you've got grandchildren by then. Your children are old. You are realizing that all that I was working for means nothing, can mean nothing because it was taken from nothing. Example, you know that money is printed from nothing? Money, currency, is not backed up by anything right now. So, if you are saving money, you are saving something that's not there. Just that you're giving somebody else a chance to take what's not there and make something out of it, and then you are still remaining with nothing. It's just another economic study. I'm not an economist. You are starting to realize at this age that all my cars, all my money, all my clothes mean nothing. What actually means something is my connections to my children, my connections with my grandchildren, my connections with the people I live around. And if the previous 7 years were through depression, this 7 years is going to be very difficult. If the previous 7 years was fulfilling, this 7 years is going to be a very beautiful, you're going to be a very happy old man and young old man or young old woman. From that 60s, going to your 77th year now, saying I'm just rushing now. Going to your 77th year, that's the epitome of your life. Now you've reached the crown. If you lived a life of failure, you have failed. There's no way for you to change it. If you've lived a life of success, you have success. You cannot fail at this point. Let us be aware of our stages of development. Ask yourself, what age are you in right now? Have you achieved what your age group is meant to achieve? I'm not talking about money, cars, clothes, houses. I'm talking about development. Have you developed during your past 7 years? Even relationships, every 7 years, relationships change dynamic. Study your own relationships. You'll come back to me and talk. For the people who are always following us, like know thyself. And I won't call all of you, and there's a whole lot of you who give positive inputs, positive comments, and you ask serious questions. And we will, in time, come around to answering some of your questions. We will, in time, engage with you also. As I promised, we will have our classes that will come. We are still working on that, on the logistics around that, but we will have you will have your chance to ask and receive your answers. But for the last question you asked, the etymology of the word worship, I'm not a linguist, but what I will tell you is a lot of people will tell you, no, it comes from worship, war and ship put together. But the word worship actually comes from the act of bringing yourself down in order to give reverence to something that you perceive to be above you. But it's all militaristic because worship goes with gospel. And gospel is a news of a military victory. An evangelizer is one person who goes around spreading military news. So worship, hence the word your worship in court or in power structures. Your worship means I am below you, you are above me. So to worship means you are acknowledging that you are below something that is above you. And in Africa, we never used such an understanding to communicate. We use connection. Siyophahla, ngiyophahluka, ngiyokhipha lento lakimi to the gods. We don't worship. We've never had worship. We don't even understand the system of worship.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next one. Let's go.